Well, the SunMoon story would probably be one that is, I would say, is a difficult story to tell because the journey hasn't been that easy. We came in about 9 years ago to the company. It was a company that was going through a very difficult time. In fact, it was probably very close to the brink of bankruptcy. So what we came was a bleeding dragon that we actually had to sort of chop off his head and turn the dragon's head towards the consumer, because what the company was focused then was mainly on the plantations and the packing house, which was causing it to bleed. And therefore, by doing this chopping off the head, we basically let the consumer understand that actually the brand is the key value of SunMoon. So the transformation is that when we came in, it was a bleeding dragon that turned into a caterpillar, and then it became a pupa stage, and the metamorphosis actually happened. And now we're actually looking like a butterfly. And I think the end of the journey is one where you will see the transformation becoming a phoenix rising. How did I come into the business was quite accidental. We actually came into the company to basically be an investor. But when we came in, and after we came in, the problems was actually much bigger than we anticipated. And this is where one of those terms where you really have to roll up the sleeves and enter the trench. We came in and we saw the problems was a lot bigger, and we need to do a lot of remedy that basically would bring the company back on track. So what we did was we basically returned the plantation, and then we basically returned the asset, which was basically the packing house. And by coming in and doing this, the company was able to stabilize, and we were able to then see what really is the value of this company, which is really the brand. To decide to stay on after we made the first change to the company was really to see the value of this company, which really was, to me, a global brand. It's not easy to find a brand where you can actually enter and distribute into the markets that we are currently doing. It was something that we actually will only be able to compare to the bigger brands like Del Monte and Dole. So we decided to stay to basically put the company back on where I think it should have been, which is truly a global brand with a global network, and really bring what I hope to do, which is to bring nature's goodness to our consumer. In the past, what was supposed to have been a rescue for the company turned into a crisis. So it was one situation where the convertible bondholders, some of us converted into equity, the others did not. So those who converted into equity became shareholders like myself, and therefore we actually had to stay into the company. And those who did not became the crisis. And I think the company took a while to basically clear that crisis, and I'm glad to say that it took us a couple of years. We are now right on the right track, and we are able to basically move forward right now. The SunMoon business model is really one where we are actually using our core values and our core benefits. SunMoon business model is actually described in a manner like network times our geography times our product. Now, what is our network is fundamentally the network that we sell to, which are the channels. It could be the modern trade, it could be the e-commerce, it could be to the mom and pops, the food services. This will be the network in what is generally the market that we sell to. The next will be geography. Now, geography is the countries that we sell into as well as what we buy from. So we have an extensive geographical reach, and so we're actually using that to our advantage. Now, SunMoon used to be a traditional company that only sell Fuji apples, but since taking over the company, we have actually expanded that quite significantly. For example, we now do things like Fuji apples, pears, we've done citruses, avocados, grapes, blueberries, right? And even to the tropicals like young coconut, dragon fruits. Now this has also expanded into what we call consumer products, which is mainly value-added products from the fresh products that we are currently doing. So with this SunMoon model, where it's network times geography times the product, we hope to amplify really what this whole value of SunMoon is. And to the consumer, at the end of the day, it's a brand that encompasses food safety, quality. It basically gives a certain SunMoon assurance to the consumer. And fundamentally, our aim is to really become a company that delivers nature's goodness to you. To execute this new strategy, it's one where we spend quite a bit of time understanding the whole complete value chain. So it's something that we have to look from the farm to the fork. It's something that basically encompasses what we call the G to G, the C to C, and the L to L. Now the G to G literally means what is government to government. Not all fruits from one country can be sold to another country. So this is where we need to understand what the G to G elements have to basically clear. The next part of it is actually the C to C, which is actually about customs and the quarantine. So it's not just about the country's customs quarantine of one country, but the customs and quarantine of the countries that is importing. Now this process actually will take a lot of time and it's not so straightforward. And the next areas that we actually have to also focus on, which is the L to L, which is the logistics to logistics. This is basically making sure that the cold chain, delivering it from the farm to the fork, is all taken care of. So to execute this model of SunMoon's model, we actually have spent a lot of time ensuring that all these three processes are all cleared and that we then are able to ensure that the SunMoon quality of what we want to bring forward is actually done and executed correctly. To me, the SunMoon value is really looking at the consumer and asking what is it that they want. And the SunMoon value that we think we can bring to the table is really delivering nature's goodness. Most of the consumers today are now getting to be more conscious about their lifestyle, more conscious about their health and their wellness. And it's not just about themselves, it's about their family and also their little ones. So to us, I think our SunMoon value encapsulates the same concerns that as a young parent or as someone who has parents who are getting older, or themselves and their spouse. I think every one of us are actually more concerned about how we actually can attain a lifestyle that is balanced, that allows us to ensure that our wealth and our health and our overall is actually taken care of. And I think that's what SunMoon really wants to do. We really want to put the consumer's focus on their wellness and their health to be part of our key goal and our core value. So I think SunMoon's value is really being able to service and bringing nature's goodness to the consumer. I think the SunMoon brand is headed to be the global brand that it was intended to be. Our current focus, of course, is to focus in areas in Southeast Asia, China, and of course even in the Middle East. We've actually started to expand into the US, Korea and Japan as well. I think going forward, SunMoon is going to be a brand that is going to be more familiar to consumer. It's one that we hope that allows the consumer, the first reaction is to see a brand that they feel something's familiar, something that they understand that actually all the concerns that they have as a consumer is being addressed. I think food safety being one of them, traceability, accountability, that wellness and their health are basically what encapsulate the brand. So I see SunMoon being more a consumer brand that is familiar and something that will basically be that global brand that we want to be.